This is being recorded on Friday, the 18th, I believe, of October. Yes, the 18th of October. And most likely will be posted. I'm not actually sure when this will be posted, so your guess is as good as mine. So yes, it's been a while, a considerable while, since I've done one of these, Snack and a Story, with yours truly. And I'd like to thank all of you for joining me for breakfast. These here are two little, I suppose you could call them sausage and egg muffins, which they're homemade, by me. And so I'm going to eat these and go ahead and regale you with, a tale, as Ahab would say. I've been thinking, actually, for quite a few, well, not years, but quite a while, as to what tale I'd actually tell on one of these, because, I've pretty much used up quite a few potential tales in past episodes. I already told the story of when I got lost in that garden appliance shop. I already told the story of when I almost died of shock. I already told the story of the Phantom Caravan or RV or whatever. I've already told the story of oh God, I forget of when I was ill from having pizza that was particularly too acidic. But it occurred to me that I had recorded a snack and a story shortly after one of them for Series 2, but I had cut it because I found it to come off as too condescending and even a tad bit homophobic. So I'm going to go ahead and retell it here. This is, I suppose you could say, the gayest moment in my personal history. And let's go ahead and begin. I hope these don't, the yolks aren't runny on these, so let's see. So, I don't know if any of you know this. Probably not, because I don't talk much about my personal life outside of what's in these stories, for reasons I'd like not to get into. But back, I suppose, when I was in primary school, I would imagine. Oh, even before that. I, for some reason or other, had always wanted to be a girl. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Me as a girl, you know how preposterous a thing this would be. But believe me, I think it preposterous myself nowadays, and I'll tell you why. So, anyway. Okay, good. You can see that. Oh, I guess it is just a wee bit runny. Almost like blood, even. But oh well. At least it's not too runny, the yolks. But it was perfect timing, too. I can't exactly tell you why I had this desire to alter my sex, but I assume it originates primarily from my want of a sister. Yes, I've always wanted a sister. I do not have a sister. I have a brother. I have, I guess, what could be considered the equivalent of a sister in the form of my brother's friend's daughter. But I don't have an actual sister, and I won't get into that either. But, yeah, this want for a sister, I suppose, proliferated to a point that I sort of became absorbed in an alternate existence, if that makes any sense. As in, I would be like two different people in the same body. And even one day in school, or not one, I don't think I ever did it. But I always fantasized about, well, not always, obviously, but I've always, in those days, fantasized about going in school with pipe cleaners wrapped about my ears and, being very effeminate and such. Sort of trying to resemble longish hair. Which is quite ironic because later on in life I could have very, very exceptionally long hair. Perhaps maybe almost reach down to like maybe about my back, somewhere around there, but that's another story for another time. Anyway, look at these. It's almost viscous. But for many years, I always associated with the female sex, and I suppose you could say, in a Jungian sense, this is sort of my animus making itself known. But I've always had female friends, not girlfriends, but friends that were girls. Always eat with them at lunch, and we talk about boys and everything like that. It wasn't a gay thing whatsoever. Or, well, I guess it kind of was, because this is the gayest thing that I can remember happening to me. But I don't know, I suppose I sort of just took on that persona and ran with it. And of course, I would also, take to doing many girly things like reading women's literature. And I don't think I've ever painted my nails. This was long before I decided to grow them out. But, yeah. Anyway, so several years pass, and I believe I kept this thing up about, after, I suppose, junior high, or the first half of secondary school, as I call it. basically, I can't tell you exactly why I gave it up. I just did. But I guess you could say, sane again. So, I was, a boy and such, and did most things of what boys did and everything. And basically, there are two things that happened that kind of made me glad that I didn't carry on further with this. One was that it's a fairly innocuous thing, but in one of my classes, somebody, a friend who was a girl, as I said, had thought that I was a woman upon first seeing me, because, like I said, I had very long hair, almost ridiculously long hair, whole locks of it, and such. I looked like. I don't even know if I can give an accurate description of who I look. Imagine Lorde, Lorde, except if she were fatter, and you got me. Back then. Anyway, so that was one thing. And then the other thing was kind of real strange, because pardon me, this is probably the first time, and only time really, that I've ever seen this. But there was this boy. I'm going to assume he was a boy, because his facial structure was very angular, conical, manly, I suppose you could say. But essentially, he had his hair, down to his shoulders and such, and was very effeminate. And this was in high school, and by the time of his final year there, I don't think it was my final year, but it was his final year, he donned a full dress. And I cannot say anything about his pectoral region, because I don't quite remember the proportions, but he was damn near a woman at this point. And I think his name was like Matthew or something like that. I don't quite remember. But this was a video I made, wasn't it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this snack and a story with me. It's been a while since I've done one of these. And, oh God, what was I going to say? Oh dear, I forgot. How was I going to end this fucking thing? Oh yeah, this will probably be like a bi-weekly thing now, not a weekly thing like it was previous. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all come whenever. This is being recorded, like I said, October 18th. I plan to at least upload a few other videos before this one. I already have some filmed and an idea or two planned. So, don't expect to see this for a while. Probably not till November. Anyway, have a good morning.